3, 1, and hello, everybody. Welcome to the Welsh Republic podcast, episode 83 today. And I am here with my guest, Aaron. He runs the show, the Steel Toe Morning Show. How are you doing today, Aaron?
I am good, sir. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Just getting on with things. You know, it's Christmas here in New Zealand. The weather's very, hot here. I probably know in the United States it's very cold. Yeah. What have you been up to today?
Oh, I don't know. Now I'm just pissed that you're talking about how warm it is over there. It's currently 11 degrees below Fahrenheit. I know we're the only country in the world that uses Fahrenheit anymore, but it's, I don't know, what is that? It's a little bit below, a couple degrees below 0 Celsius over here. It's insanely cold. We're covered in about a foot of snow, and Christmas is around the corner. So that's pretty par for the course in Minnesota, in this part of the country.
So have you finished your Christmas shopping yet?
Yeah, I just got it done today. The kids picked out something for April, and I had to go pick it up today. And then everything's done.
Mm-hmm. What have you got plans for Christmas?
Oh, just a lot of running around. We got so tomorrow, we'll kind of get everything ready, get everything all set up, and then the kids will wake up and we'll do all their presents, and then the Santa Claus presents, and then we'll drive out to April's parents' place and spend the day out there, and then, they'll go to another Christmas later that night, and then April and I will head off and do my birthday thing, which is, we get a little hotel room at a casino down, about an hour and a half south of here, and play some cards and have some dinner, and that's how the Christmas works for the Imholtz.
Oh, that sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, we never do anything like on Christmas Day. Like my whole life, like my family, we never really did anything on Christmas Day. It was always just everything got packed into the 23rd and the 24th, and the 25th was kind of like a getaway day. Like you just kind of cleaned up everything, relaxed, enjoyed the stuff you got the day before. The 25th, like my whole 35 years, almost 36 years on this earth, the 25th has never been a big day for me.
It is for some people, I guess, in some ways, because different cultures, different things.
Yeah. No, for like culturally, it's a big deal here. It's just for me, like the way like my life is like when I was a kid, my parents, they did everything on the 24th. And like I said, the 25th was just kind of a rest day. So I know for a lot of people, they go all out on the 25th, like Christmas morning. For me, for some reason, it's always been the 24th. I think it's because it's also my birthday too. So it's just kind of, it's all gets thrown in on that one day.
Well, okay. So tell me about your show, Aaron. How did you and April meet? And what made you want to start the Steel Toe Morning Show? And do you have a history in radio, stuff like that? Do you have a college degree or stuff?
Yeah, and by the way, we are simulcasting this, so to the people in my chat, yes, this is live. A bunch of people are asking, is this live? Is this live? Yes.
It is.
We are live. We're doing the Welsh Republic podcast, and
hi, everybody on his chat. Hello.
Yes, he did ask that we simulcast this, so we're doing it that way, if that answers anything for you. No, the Steel Toe Morning Show is something I started doing in 2014. I was working in a little radio station starting back in 2006 in Litchfield, Minnesota, just kind of a rural farm town. And God bless them, they didn't really have any direction for me. They just said, we'll give you 5 hours in the afternoon, do whatever you want with it. And I just started doing a really kind of a crude, not like language crude, but just like quality crude version of like a talk-ish show with some music in it. And then as I got better and better, that kind of grew into a talk show with interviews and everything else. And that was just called Aaron in the Afternoon. That was on a little AM station. Then I went to an FM station in Wilmer, Minnesota, which is, not far from St. Cloud where I live. And they put me on what's called Adult Contemporary, which is like Taylor Swift and stuff like that. And my style did not work very well there. I don't know why they hired me, knowing the kind of radio I did. So we butted heads, the owner and I of that station butted heads a lot over the course of a month. And I think in 3 weeks, I was out of that place. I was going up to quit, and I think they were going to call me up to let me go. So it just kind of worked out. And then, I ended up in St. Cloud in 2014, and they offered me their morning spot. And they said, well, what do you want to call it? And I said, well, I don't want to do like the Aaron Imholt morning show. That sounds kind of lame or whatever. And they said, well, a few years ago, we had a show called the Steel Toe Morning Show. And I went, oh, you know what? Blue collar kind of audience, in a central Minnesota town. I like it. I can't think of anything better, so I'll take it. And I did take it, and I copywrote it. Like, they didn't have their show copywritten. So I copywrote it. I put the trademark on it, and we owned Steel Toe ever since. And then I got in a little bit of trouble making fun of a broadcaster in Iowa. Happened to be female. Like, you can talk shit about a male broadcaster all you want and say their show sucks and they're awful and they stink, and nobody cares. But the minute...
That is very true.
Yeah, but the minute it's like a little helpless, defenseless girl, even though like we talk shit about them, then she wanted to play back, and she's like, oh, they're just in their parents' basement doing a show. So we're like, all right, we're going to really hammer her. We're going to really go after her. Well, then the minute that they can't, the minute that they're like, oh, shit, they're really talking shit about us. We can't really hang with this. Then it becomes, oh, they're bullies, and oh, they picked on a girl. And so then it went around radio, and we were all over the radio news, websites, and the Star Tribune in Minneapolis and, Des Moines, Iowa, where their station was. They all picked it up, and I was this big misogynist bully. And we had huge ratings in St. Cloud at the time, so they weren't going to let us go. But they were going to like take all of our social media. They wanted our trademark. They wanted the streaming services we were on at the time. And we said no, because then if they take all the streaming services and all that, then they can just delete all our access to our audience and fire us anyway. So we said, nope, we're going to go and we're going to stream the show, and we're going to see if we can go listener supported, just basically supported by donations and whatnot, and see if we can make the show work that way. And 2 years later, 7 months on YouTube now, it's worked out really, really well. The show keeps growing, and we never would have talked to this many people in radio. We never would have been able to, and we wouldn't have been able to talk to and get in touch with the people we've gotten in touch with. So in hindsight, it was a very good move. April joined the show right when we left radio. When we left radio and went digital, obviously her and I were... I think if we weren't engaged, we were about to be engaged a couple months later. And I needed her around. I needed her to do stuff. And then she had been doing some podcast stuff with me. So she just kind of grew into the role of a co-host. I brought some of the guys from radio with me, and we've been doing the show that way ever since.
Mm-hmm. So with the person who came up with the name Steel Toe, like, what is the meaning behind the Steel Toe show?
I think it kind of just, it represented the demographic we kind of went after, which is a working class, 18 to 49 male demographic. And that still holds true to this day. I mean, you go on our analytics and YouTube, and we like to joke that we're a little too diverse because we have 7% of our audience is women, and that number's a little high. So it's just, steel toe is just kind of a reflection. People go, oh, it guy doesn't look like he's ever worn steel toes. It's not a reflection of me. I don't fucking, why? I'm doing a broadcast. I'm doing a podcast in my basement. Why would I wear steel toes? It's really a reflection of the audience, and I think it's pretty fitting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's pretty interesting that you managed to meet her. What has been your favorite interview that you've done so far on your steels? On your show.
This one. Well, I can't say anything other than the one I'm on, right? You mean besides this one? Hmm? Besides this one, I would say, oh God, there's been so many good ones. I'm going to piss somebody off with this answer. E-Rock from the Opie and Anthony show was great. He was a lot of fun to talk to. Shuli was really good. And Alex Stein was a blast. Oh, God, if I have to pick just one of them, I'm going to go personally. The one that I had the most fun with was probably E-Rock from the Opie and Anthony show. He was a fun guy to talk to.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. Who would you say, Aaron, is your favorite, type of, when growing up to become a radio person that you are, who would you say was your greatest motivation and role model, like from radio or movies or actor or radio personality that you really liked?
I think in terms of radio personality, my biggest influence probably is split between Anthony Cumia from the Opie and Anthony show and Howard Stern. I think a lot of people my age who broadcast, a lot of them would go with those two names. Would be Howard Stern, Anthony Cumia are the two big ones. Locally here in Minnesota, I grew up listening to a guy named Tom Bernard, who I think is retired. I think he just retired this week or last week. And he was a morning radio guy for like 40 years here in Minnesota and was really popular. And then in terms of like outside of radio, like Anthony Cumia and Howard Stern are my biggest radio influences. I think my biggest overall influence is probably George Carlin. From a really young age.
Oh, he's fantastic. He is absolutely brilliant, George Carlin is.
Yeah, I think from the time I was about 10 years old when I, behind my parents' back watched the Back in Town special, I was hooked on George Carlin, and I found that his beginning, his genesis was in radio. And I really wanted to be in radio because I didn't want to do stand-up comedy because it's an awful life to live. It's just travel and no money and shit like that. Not that radio's huge money, but it's a lot better than the comedy lifestyle. So I was like, I want to try the radio thing. And George Carlin, like his balls when it came to saying what he wanted and, willing to go to court and get arrested and, sue the United States government over, censorship and stuff like that. Like just the balls that guy had to kind of like go outside of himself and fight for things that were bigger than him, like what you can say on television, radio, things like that. He was a big one for me. I would say George Carlin is probably my biggest influence in totality. But in terms of like broadcasting and what kind of show I want to do, Howard and Opie and Anthony definitely kind of showed me that the kind of show I want to do is something that you can do. Like there is a road that's paved for what you want to do. You can go down that road, and that's why they're probably the two biggest ones.
Mm-hmm. What would you say was your favorite joke that George Carlin did?
Oh, wow. That's really difficult. There's a lot of them. Oh boy, the Back in Town special, his the chunk he does on ways to execute people, I really, really like. His baseball and football is a really good one. There's he's also got oh god, it's so hard because you could go 50 different ways. If you asked me this question every day, I'd probably give you a different answer when it came to Carlin. So I'm going to go. There's also a segment he did called Free Floating Hostility in Back in Town, which is really good. That's a tough, that's almost too tough of a question. You're going to have to settle for all of those answers. And then if I think about it in bed tonight, I'd probably come up with about 20 more.
I mean, he is very talented. My favorite one would have to be the one where he was speaking about religion. That was fantastic. That was.
We have to be specific because there's like, again, I was thinking about him and I'm like, there's 10 of those, I mean, he's got an airport bit that's really funny. And I think it's in the You're All Diseased special. Oh, Germs. The George Carlin Germs bit is fucking fantastic too. They're all awesome.
What would you say would be, what about British ones? Who's your favorite type of British, radio personality and British comedian?
British comedian out of all of them, probably going to have to say Ricky Gervais is probably my favorite. Not only just the stand-up comedy, but like the shows he's created. I mean, the David Brent, people can say that the American Office is better than the British Office if they want to, but the David Brent character is far superior to Michael Scott. That's, to me, the David Brent character is one of the funniest TV characters of all time.
Yeah, he is pretty good. What would you say is your favorite film of Ricky?
Oh boy, as far as Ricky, what was the film where it was a world where there were no what was it? The Invention of Lying?
Yes, I think that film.
That's my favorite one. Where he's the only guy in the world who's able to not tell the truth. That's probably my favorite Ricky Gervais movie.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. So, with your show this year, doing the thing that you've done, what would you say has been, your favorite drama that you've seen this year out of any drama on YouTube?
Like ones that we were involved in, or that we've just seen other people engage in?
Yeah, other people.
Oh, wow. Well, I look, I think there's a great one brewing with this Chris D'Elia documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but a YouTuber named Kyle Anderson, he's a comic, did a documentary called Chris D'Elia Problem. I finally watched it today. It's really, really good. And I think some real shit's about to come down on D'Elia over that documentary, because I always thought Chris D'Elia, who's a comic here in the United States, there was this controversy around him, and I thought that he was just like Snapchatting and texting girls who were like 16 and 17, and it was really kind of like, it was super iffy. It turns out like he was running a harem, like he was running a sex cult basically, and these girls were like digital captives of him, and it's really wild. I strongly encourage people to check it out after they're done watching your videos and your interviews. They should go check it out. But at the risk of sounding like a hack, I really was into that Bobby Lee, Kalila, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen thing, because there were so many different moving parts. I mean, at first it looked like this Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen are just bullying this poor Bobby Lee out of nowhere because they're paranoid that he's sending haters after their subreddit and everything else. But then you look deeper and you watch it for a while, and we all realize we were probably a little unfair to Brendan Schaub, because that Kalila chick that's with Bobby on Tiger Belly is one of the most manipulative, toxic, evil, cold, sociopathic, narcissistic bitches who's ever lived on this earth. And she was actually probably manipulating some of that hate that Brendan and Brian were talking about, unbeknownst to Bobby. So he's sitting here defending himself and defending her. Meanwhile, she's probably kind of fucking him over behind the scenes. So that one was really juicy and rich. I mean, I don't like people who say they don't like drama. I think those people are dishonest. I feel like they're saying that because they have to, because it makes them sound more mature. I love drama. I love it when people, like when grown-ups are arguing and fighting over high school level horse shit. I think it's a fun look into their psyches. It's a fun look into just humanity and the things that we value and our vanity. There's just so much to it, and I love the whole thing. I love watching it. I love talking shit about people and making fun of them when I think they're garbage. Not even just garbage. If people aren't good at something but they're trying, I'm not going to make fun of them for that. But if they have a sense of entitlement about them and they're dog shit and they're just a shitty person on top of it, I love getting under people like that skin, shitting on them, and just kind of bringing them back down to earth a little bit. I love watching it, and I even love being a part of it.
Mm-hmm. I've heard lately that you have had some drama with, like, Elisa Jordiana's crew, that apparently, one of her members on her Discord,
fuck yeah,
swatted you, and then swatted Chrissy Mayer, and then Bob Levy got swatted. What's the story behind that? And why would that guy get so angry and motivated to do that to you?
It's funny because we never brought up Elisa Jordana, never watched her show, never made fun of her, anything. What happened was we had a guy who's a vulnerable adult from Mississippi who watched our show, and we wouldn't let him call in anymore because he would call and call and call, and he would never have anything for the show, and it would kind of just break the momentum. And finally, after trying to give him a hint, I had to go, dude, you gotta stop. We gotta cut you off. I'm sorry, but you're not listening to the hints we're dropping. And people like that, they take that stuff really hard, and he went over into their Discord for some reason. Well, because Elisa takes people like that and encourages them and blows them up. And the more messed up you are mentally and really shouldn't be exposed to that kind of a show, the more she likes to do it. She's a real piece of shit. So he then went and doxed us on that show's Discord, causing one of her fans to swat us and do a bunch of other just really horrible shit. Then we went on Chrissy Mayer's show. We announced it, and then that guy doxed Chrissy. Then we went on Bob Levy's show, and he found out we were going on there. He doxed Bob Levy. The update we've been able to give people on that is that that guy is just about at the end of his rope. put it that way, and it's fantastic to see. So we always say, kind of in the long run, Steel Toe wins, and this is another case where, you know, that guy got to have his fun doing the swatting thing and the other stuff that the police have that he did. He probably will not be seeing green grass and freedom for quite some time.
And I think swatting is a real big problem, and I really think people should stop it, you know, because it's not funny. Someone can get hurt, and it's very, very dangerous. It is. Yeah,
and luckily, like, we're known to the police force here because we sell methamphetamine. I'm kidding. No, we're known to the police force here because we did radio here for years, and we were very popular among the police. So they know we do a show, so they knew it was probably a swatting type of thing. So they were pretty cool about it, but it's still not fun. It's not a fun thing to deal with or to, you know, follow up with the cops with. But in the long run, it ended up backfiring on them terribly. I mean, we started hammering the shit out of Elisa Jordana because she wouldn't take responsibility. We're like, you got to ban these people from your Discord. You got to, like, give us the information you have on these people so we can catch them. And she's like, it's not my responsibility. I only think about positive things, and that's not positive. It's like, well, bitch, I know you're this dumb, aloof, daft, dipshit, West Coast 40-year-old wannabe streamer moron, but you've got to, like, take your head out of your ass and take your head out of the clouds simultaneously and realize that you got some responsibilities here. She wouldn't do it. We started ripping the shit out of her show. All of a sudden, she ends her podcasts. She's only doing IRL streams, and that a big part of that had to do with us deciding that, you know, we're not just going to let her audience dox us. We're going to fire back at her. I mean, we've had a lot of success with taking people who have really shitty attitudes and treat people like garbage and affecting them badly. There's a comic in the United States. He's not really a comic. He's just kind of an out-of-work homeless guy who goes on podcasts. His name's Chad Zumach, and we just beat the shit out of that guy for being an asshole until he broke. I mean, he just shattered into a million pieces, and he's just going through this spiral now, and it's just fun to kind of poke him and prod him and do that. I mean, that's you know, when you pick your targets to make fun of, in my opinion, just pick the ones who have no humility, no decency, no tact. They have delusions of grandeur, no self-awareness, no sense of humor about themselves, and you'll have fun for months with it.
One thing I've noticed.
Oh wait, but I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt you, but as somebody in my chat chat just said, this is fair. He was really cool in high school, though. So that's
who is that? Chud or
Chud? I think the way you said it with your accent, Chud. I think that's perfect. You can call him Scambo. You can call him Liquor Pig. You can call him Credit Card Thief. Whatever you want. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of things, Aaron, today, when you look at the culture that we live in, especially in the internet culture, whether it's podcasting, whether it's interviewing, all that, it seems today, with today's world and social media influencing other people, it seems to be that everybody wants to be heard. Everybody just seems to, you know, want to be the best person out there. And I think especially when you have a culture where the nuclear family has been destroyed, where, you know, people are lacking a father or a mother in the home, and especially how Western civilization is going downhill, I feel that, like, social media, as much as some good things it's done, it really hasn't helped. And I feel, especially when we talk about doxing and swatting and all that stuff, it's created a culture where I feel that people need a voice to be heard. And I feel that, you know, people just don't get heard enough. And I feel like when you have a culture where adults, you know, are not acting like, you know, how they should be, it just doesn't help. And I think what social media and YouTube has done is it's created a culture of narcissistic. When you look at that, what is your opinion towards that? And what would you say really is the cause of that?
It's funny you asked me that, because when I on my way home today, while I was driving, I was thinking about this. I think social media and YouTube and all that stuff is wonderful in the proper context if people would use it the right way. I think if you use the internet and you use social media as a replacement for what the television used to be, I think it's great. You check in on your favorite shows or your favorite people, and then you go out and you go to the grocery store, you go to the gym, you go shopping, you live your life, you do things, you spend time with your children. I think that's perfect. I think that would be a really healthy world. We could all be connected. We could have little conversations with each other. The problem lies when people start using social media as a replacement for their lives. And I think you have way too many people who use it as the latter rather than the former. Like, if you go out and you do things and then you come home and instead of, it used to be you put your feet up in your chair and you turn on the TV, if instead of that you grab your phone, you go scrolling through Twitter, watching some YouTube stuff and finding out, what's going on, just catching up with things. I think that's great. I think that's actually really healthy. But if you forego grocery shopping, if you forego, going to the mall, or you forego going to the gym, or you forego hanging out with your friends so that you can sit on your phone or sit on your computer and be on social media all the time, I think that's where we run into the problem.
Mm-hmm. I remember watching a very good video a long time ago, Aaron, where it was, I'm sorry I have to go a bit political here with stuff.
Oh, I don't care. That's fine.
But what actually happened is a long time ago, there was a guy on YouTube. I don't know if he does any videos anymore, but he's called this Black Pill channel. And he talks about like Operation Mockingbird, which you probably heard about, which is pretty much, a thing by the United States government to brainwash the masses. And they use, media and news outlets and to control the population and stuff. And he said in that video, the biggest thing, the most powerful brainwashing tool that has been, well, one of the most powerful, has been the TV. And he said ever since the creation of the television, divorce rates went downhill, the family unit has died. And he reckons that the TV, the invention of the TV, and especially with media, has a lot of connections to Operation Mockingbird. And when I look at that, I wouldn't be surprised, especially the creation of the TV that has led to that. What is your opinions on that?
That's really interesting. I've never thought of the TV's role in it, but yeah, that might be part of it. This is going to really upset maybe it won't upset some females who are listening. Maybe they'd agree. I think women, the explosion of women in the workplace has really helped to destroy that nuclear family you're talking about. I think when it came to, two household incomes, it used to be one household would would have the income. There was only so much you could charge for goods because, you don't have two households working. You don't have all this tax money being collected. You look at the numbers, women going to work, they've become more and more miserable as they've been going to work more and more. It used to be men go to work. It made them fucking miserable. It was really hard. It was painful. They hated it. They'd punch their clock. They'd go back to their families. The women would take care of the house. The house would be taken care of. The kids were good. Everybody played their role. Now you have men and women all going to work. The house is neglected. The kids are at daycare being raised by somebody else. There's not these definition, this division of labor that we used to have. If everybody's a man, then nobody's a woman. And if everybody's a woman, then nobody's a man. Those two genders are very complementary towards one another. Women complement men, men complement women. We both have sets of skills that the other one doesn't. But if you're both chasing after the same thing, you're neglecting a lot of things at home. So I like the TV thing. I also think if you look at the numbers, women going to work has made them less happy. It's made them realize that, because they thought we were off going to work and it was Mad Men and we were drinking and we were just grabbing ass and everything. What they realized is it fucking sucks. You hate your boss. You're promised a promotion. You're not going to get it. You have these dreams in your 20s that die by the time you're 40, and it's not fun. So now instead of having one miserable man, you have two miserable people in a house. They both hate their jobs, and you've got a dirty house and kids that barely know who you are. So I like the TV thing. I do, but I think, I'm not really a political guy. I know you're probably more into politics, but I do think that we were probably family-wise doing it better in previous generations than we do it now.
Someone in my comments section just said something very interesting here. Shout out to Flaitland Triggers. He's a very cool guy. He says, I say it's more about who's in control of what's on the television than the unity itself. Just like any invention, it's only as evil as good as the ones who are in control of it. What is your opinions on that comment?
Well, yeah, the people who control the message, that's big. Now we have corporations that are in charge of the news and your information. And those corporations, they have a vested interest in how things go. The people who own NBC and ABC and CBS and Fox, they all have other businesses. They're multinational conglomerates. They've got their hands in other businesses. They've got benefactors in other industries. You know, they don't want to see, they don't want to see certain stories reported a certain way, and they'd like to see other stories reported a particular way. So yeah, the people who control the pen, you know, still kind of control the way people think for the most part.
Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, speaking of that, who would be your dream guest to have on your show for an interview on Steel Toe?
Wow, my dream guest. Alex Jones would be a riot. I would love to have Alex on. That would be a lot of fun. Of course, Anthony Cumia, because he's been such an influence, would be a dream guest to have on. Oh, man, there's always one in this conversation that I'd love to have, and I'm blanking out on who it is now. God damn, man. It's always Alex Jones. It's always Anthony Cumia. And there's one other guy who I think would be fucking hysterical to have on that maybe my chat can help me out with this, because we do have this conversation from time to time about who would be my favorite. Damn it. You know what? I'll go with those two. I'm pretty happy with those two, but I feel like there's one I'm missing at the moment. But yeah, Alex Jones, just because he's out of his mind. I love him. And Anthony Cumia would probably be some two dream interviews for me.
What would you say is your favorite video that Alex Jones has ever done before? Your favorite funniest meme that he's done or skit?
Favorite video that he's done? I don't know. To me, it's the compilation videos. Like, there's one of him doing It's him doing impressions. It was a video that I think Vice made, and it's a compilation of him just doing impressions of other people, and it is so goddamn funny to me. It's just because he's just such a silly character. That's probably my favorite Alex Jones video.
I would have to say my favorite one, Aaron. I loved the one where he fucking dressed up as a frog. That was so fucking funny. There was one where he was making this robot impersonation, which was absolutely hilarious. That was pretty funny.
That was good. There's also, you know what? I'll take it back. My favorite one is when he took a spoonful of ivermectin and he put a donkey face on, and he started just going, hee-haw, hee-haw, I'm a donkey. Oh, my God, I've turned into a donkey. Well, oh, my God, I took the ivermectin, and now I'm a donkey. And it's so fucking funny. That would probably be one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Someone in my comment section here just said, what about Kanye West as an interview? Would you have Kanye West on your show?
I mean, YouTube's like taking him down. Here's what I would do. I would probably record an interview with Kanye, and then I see what's postable and see what's not, and I'd throw it up there. I don't know if I'd really like to talk to Kanye that much. I feel like we've heard from him. I don't think there's anything I'm going to get out of Kanye that he hasn't thrown out there already. So, oddly enough, there you go, Lemmy. Yeah, maybe I'd put it on Patreon. Maybe that would be the way to go.
Or you could just upload it to Rumble. Rumble's a good place to put
or Rumble. Yeah, that's a good one. Kanye, I'm not as enthused about Kanye. If you would have asked me a month ago, I'd have said, fuck yeah, I'll do it. But now I think everybody's had Kanye on, and we've heard what he's had to say, and, we've had our laughs, and I don't know. I wouldn't say I've had my laughs with Kanye. I thought it was pretty troubling when he was saying, hey, black people in entertainment have not been treated very well by Jewish management in entertainment. But if you say that out loud, they'll take away, all your money. They'll take away your contracts and stuff like that. And Jewish people in entertainment went, no, we won't. Now cancel his bank accounts, get rid of his record deals, take away his endorsements and all this stuff. And it's like, wait a minute. I thought you said that everything he was saying was a conspiracy. Why are you doing all the things he said you were going to do? It was the most, the whole Kanye thing was a fever dream to me. And I think people were starting to see that. And they were like, that is kind of weird. They're kind of proving his point. But then he went off the deep end with the Hitler stuff and the Nazi stuff. And then people went, oh.
Yeah, that was utterly too much. That was ridiculous,
Yeah, after that, they were just like, okay, I don't care if this guy was, stumbling on to some decent sense there. That, I'm going to back away.
Mm-hmm. When I look at the Kanye thing, when you look at the thing of him running his campaign and stuff, one question I want to ask you is, when you look at the people around him, which are very controversial figures, I'm not particularly a fan of them. I don't particularly like Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is a fraud. I think he's, a person who's using him just for his money, just for, his personal gain. You've also got Milo Melopoulos, who, sorry if I got to butcher his pronunciation.
No, that's about right.
But Milo is very troubled in this video. You probably watched a video by Laura Sunland where she talked about the dodgy things about Milo and stuff, and the stuff he's done a lot in the Republican Party movement and all that. When you look at that, and especially, how like Kanye West broke up with Kim Kardashian, which has obviously had a really big factor to him, emotionally.
Yeah.
When you look at that, in your opinion, Aaron, do you think Kanye is being used, or do you think he's just trying to do it as like a stunt? Because when he went on Alex Jones's show, there are some people said that he was actually doing a stunt, that he was just acting. Personally, I don't think he was acting. What is your opinion?
No, I mean, this is a guy who went on national TV and yelled George Bush doesn't care about black people. He interrupted Taylor Swift during an awards show. I mean, this is a guy who's got a history of just acting crazily outside the box. There was a conspiracy theory I heard that he was doing it to get back at the Kardashians because they work with so many Jewish people in advertising and entertainment and fashion, that he was trying to make things difficult for them. I think a lot of people attribute their own thoughts to Kanye. I think if you watch him historically, there's not really a rhyme or a reason to anything he does. He just kind of feels something and he goes with it. And this is kind of his thing now.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. And I think he is not being helped, especially. What is your opinion on the Ukrainian president visiting Congress the other day? And all that taxpayers' money going towards Ukraine? Absolutely outrageous, isn't it?
I mean, the Ukraine thing is just so, it's so just in our face money laundering. It's just so, they're just bragging. They're bragging in front of the United States people as we kind of slide into a recession. They're like, oh, yeah, you guys need help with this. Yeah, how about go fuck yourself? We're going to send a bunch of weapons to the Ukraine so we can have a dick-swinging contest with the Russians. I mean, forget the fact that us and Russia both kind of started this thing and that we both used Ukraine as a propaganda tug-of-war game. They took it from us. We took it from them. We launched a coup to get their leader out, and then Russia hated that. Then we wanted to put him in NATO. So Russia's like, we're rolling tanks in to prevent that. We don't want NATO on our doorstep. Then, after the Cold War ended, we said we're never going to push further east of Germany with NATO. And now we're fucking talking about Finland and Ukraine. I don't know. A report came out the other day that said the Ukrainians are taking 50 to 60% of the weapons we're giving them, and they're selling them to African warlords at a profit. So they're basically... I know.
It's insane, especially how much the military-industrial complex gives, so much money and guns away to terrorist organizations around the world. So, whether it's left-wing extremist groups, right-wing extremist groups, the Azov Battalion, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
What the military has done for so long.
And it's funny because, now that, the weapons we're sending to Ukraine, they're now sending to Africa, which is going to start more wars there. So we're sending all these weapons, or it's like we're spreading a plague around. We're spreading a disease around that's just going to cause more death, more destruction, and more killing. Meanwhile, Ukraine seems to be fending off the Russians just fine. I mean, those goddamn lines haven't moved since the spring. And we just keep pumping more and more. We're up to $150 billion. And then that son of a bitch had the nerve to come to the United States yesterday and tell us we're not giving them enough.
And he wasn't even wearing a suit.
I hated that. Yeah, I hate that no suit shit. We get it. The green shirt, it's such a gimmick. It's like the president of Botswana, if he came to the United States, would wear a fucking suit, and half his people are starving. So this guy's going to wear his green T-shirt, and then they sell his green T-shirt online. It makes you wonder, is this a real war? Or is something else going on here? Because you never saw Churchill in 1940 when England was isolated across the channel come to the United States wearing a T-shirt and board shorts, Churchill was always in a suit and dressed nicely, and he's like, this is the darkest time and we need your help. That's a great Churchill impression, by the way. And this guy coming with his T-shirt and jeans and we need more of your money, it's a fucking Sally Struthers commercial. I don't know. I don't like it. And that's why I try to stay out of, I try not to go too deep into news and politics, not because I'm it's divisive, But because I don't
It's absolutely divisive.
but I don't care about that part. I just don't like the way it makes me feel. Because I'm not going to change it. Nothing's going to happen. These people are, multi-billionaires who run the world. They're going to do whatever they want. So me just sitting here and getting outraged and getting mad is just taking away, it takes away time from my family, my kids, whatever. And I just don't need that shit. So I'll dive into that stuff on the show, like skin deep. But when I feel myself kind of starting sinking into that place, I go, all right, let's turn the page. Let's be done.
Okay. I'll just say something. I do disagree with that Ukraine is being able to hold Russia off because I have different opinions towards that. But I do agree. I think the military-industrial complex needs to stay out of other people's business, and I do think the United States needs to stop funding them.
Right.
Speaking of that, Aaron, what would you say is your favorite band?
Wow, that is a wonderful segue. My favorite band of all time, boy, that's a tough one. Like, I'm a big country music fan, but I've also got, some rock bands that I like. I'm going to say, shit, that's difficult. Favorite band of all time. I think my favorite artist of all time, God, I'm going to get fucking hammered for this one. Maybe, I think, Eric Church I really enjoy. Also, Merle Haggard. Someone in my chat says David Allan Coe. Not quite. I really like Gordon Lightfoot. And what the hell? Who else should we throw in there?
You fan of Bob Dylan?
Yeah, a few songs. I really like Hurricane. I really like, obviously, The Times They Are A-Changin'. And, I don't go too deep with... Some of Dylan's stuff is just a little too, folksy for me. I'm definitely like a lot of songs. Oh God, Jesus! You know who might be my favorite? Just slipped my mind. Jim Croce probably would be right up there for me. I like a lot of those songwriter guys.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we ask chat? I'll ask chat in my end, and you can ask chat in your end.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know what my chat is saying. They are not being very serious about this. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's all good. I'll ask my chat. So chat on my end. What would you say is your guys' favorite band?
And my chat, please don't start coming up with answers. Yeah, all I've got in mine is, sorry, I forgot Kiss is a bunch of Jews. I've got Panzerfaust. That is a white hate group. That's not cool.
Oh, God.
Yeah, G.G. Allen, people are coming up with. Fucking hell. You know about G.G. Allen?
I think I've heard a little bit of him.
No, probably not. You probably haven't heard G.G. Allen. G.G. Allen was an American, super, horrorcore heavy metal artist who would perform live, and he would shit all over the stage, and he would smear his shit on fans, and he would just do, he'd cut himself on stage. He'd just do wild, crazy performances. He'd often get arrested. His music was terrible. He died young. Imagine that. But yeah, G.G. Allen was a shit show, literally. If you ever have time, go read G.G. Allen's Wikipedia. It's psychotic.
Someone in my comment section just said here. I'll just show it here. Just said Queen is my favorite band. I agree, dude. Queen, in my opinion, is the best band ever. They're awesome. I love their song, especially "Who Wants to Live Forever," which was the Highland. I think it was the Highlander song. Remember that movie with Sean Connery?
Yep, I like Queen. While not my favorite, very very good. I think as far as Queen goes, I think One Vision is probably one of my favorites. From Queen, I've always really.
Someone is saying, sorry, Aaron, just to remember my chat. Someone is saying it's Adam and Ants.
No idea who that is.
Sure about this. And someone is saying these guys, Breaking Benjamin, old Breaking Benjamin. Yeah, Breaking Benjamin's good, very good. I'm not too sure about the first two.
Yeah, Chevelle and Rammstein. I get it. People love them, but yeah, you don't want to know what my chat is saying. It's a lot of remarkably inappropriate bands in mine. Although somebody did say the Temptations. Yeah, that's a hard one though. I'll put Croce way up there. I'll put Merle Haggard way up there. Just a lot of storytellers, songwriters. I like a lot of that stuff. You know what? I'll throw the Clash in there too. I'm a pretty big Clash fan. I I kind of go all over the place in terms of what I like. It's like, for me, music is not like genres. It's more just like I'll hear something and I'll really like it and I'll go, oh, what's that? I mean, I'll listen to fucking Bruce Hornsby in The Range and Steve Winwood, and I'll be like, oh, I love this shit, and then I'll listen to Eric Church and go, oh, this is the greatest. You know, I just if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
So, Steel Toe, tell me, what plans do you have for next year on your show?
We're getting close to 10,000 subs. I'll probably just try to...
The connection went wrong.
Oh, you all right there?
Yeah, it's back on. Sorry about that, folks. The connection went back off, and Aaron is back.
What I'm going to say is we're getting close to 10,000 subs, so probably just get in big trouble, blow it up, and start over. That'll be... No, I'm kidding. Look, cross over 10,000 subs, keep the audience growing, keep being able to do the funnest goddamn job in the world for a living. That would be... That's probably the goal for 2023. Keep getting really good guests, keep going on fun shows, and keep cranking out good shows as well.
Mm-hmm. So, before we finish up, Aaron, would anyone on your comment section like to ask any question to you?
Do you guys have any questions other than the filth and demonic behavior I've been seeing so far? I'll give them a second to throw in their questions, and if I get any that seem serious or apropos to what we've been talking about, I'll let you know. Otherwise, they do have a habit when you ask them to do something of doing the complete opposite just to entertain themselves. See, now all we're getting is, Aaron, what is your cup size? Gray Duckling wants to know if you're a Jew. Jay wants to know, is how gay are you, sir? What country are you really from? Your accent is being questioned. Where did you get your Vladimir shirt, sir? That's what you're going to get from my audience, is just that kind of stuff. If you ask them, hey, guys, do you have any questions for us? They'll go, fuck you. Are you gay? And that'll entertain them.
Someone in your comment section just said, this guy looks like he could get raided by the secret police at any moment.
That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get from my folks. See, now you're going to get one person asking, how many people do you really think died in the Holocaust? Don't answer that. Even if you say 6 million, they're going to go, oh, yeah, and they're going to try and get you to go down a rabbit hole. Don't do it. Don't answer these people's questions, ever. Never.
There's an interesting question. Someone just said, what's your thoughts on Charlie Chaplin?
They're trying to... If that's coming from my chat... That is how they reference Adolf Hitler, and they're trying to get me to say something nice. They're trying to get me to say something nice about Charlie Chaplin so they can frame it as me saying something nice about Hitler. They are scumbags. I love them, but they're garbage people. They're very funny.
Oh, someone in my comment section just asked you, who were your biggest influences?
I'm going to stick with Carlin, Howard Stern, and Anthony Cumia. Those would probably be my three biggest. I'll throw comedian Patrice O'Neill in there. If you guys haven't watched Patrice O'Neill's Elephant in the Room stand-up special, it's one of the funniest stand-up specials of all time. I'd put it up against any of my favorites. Those would probably be my Mount Rushmore of influences.
Mm-hmm. So... I think that will do, Steel Toe. It was great having you on my show. It was an absolute honor.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, sir. You had a lot. You took it in a lot of different directions. I enjoyed it. I stayed on my toes.
Mm-hmm. Where can people find you, Steel Toe?
Steel Toe Morning Show on YouTube. Go subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to Welsh Republic Podcast. We have, if you're watching this on my channel, the link to his channel is in the description there. Give him a sub. But Steel Toe Morning Show on YouTube. Watch our show Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Central Time here in America. And then Monday through Wednesday, we do a 2-hour evening show from 7 to 9 p.m. And we post best of clips up every day as well.
Can I just say one more thing?
No.
I noticed...
Absolutely not. Cut the horse shit. You're getting greedy now.
I will say one more thing. I do notice on your chat, I do want to say to the chat, sometimes you do get some haters on your chat before, and they say that you talk too much, and they say they do. I just want to say to those people who say you talk too much, come on, guys, give him a break. Aaron's a nice guy. He's a really entertaining person. I've enjoyed talking to him today. Give him some slack.
I talk too much. I'm a goddamn talk show host. What do you want me to do, mime? What the fuck? I don't mind. Honestly, I've been broadcasting to an audience for... I'm going to be 36, so 16 years now. So
Dude, you don't look 36. You look like you're 26 or 27.
Oh, that's very nice of you. I'll give you a hand job later. But no, is in terms of like hate and like shitty comments and stuff. I personally, my attitude is have fun with it. You know, troll them right back. Yeah, I always say. I've been doing this professionally for a long time. I can be far more annoying than some guy leaving a shitty comment in the chat. So I'm not really bothered by shitty comments. I kind of see them. When we get them, I'm sure to single them out because it's a nice break from the show. And then I can just hammer that. Here's what usually happens. Someone leaves a shitty comment, and I go, oh, knock it off. You're going to be a fan of ours in like 3 days, I promise. You're just being shitty to try and be contrarian. And they'll be like, oh, look, I got you to stop your show. And I'll go, yep, now we're going to see what you got. What else you got for us? Come on, you're on the stage now. You got what you wanted. And they'll go, oh, fuck you, this sucks, I'm leaving. And I go, yep, see, got rid of another one. I don't know. I don't mind. A lot of people who broadcast online, they don't like quote-unquote haters or whatever. I don't mind them at all. I think they're a lot of fun.
Well, anyways, thank you for coming on my show.
You're right. That was
Aaron.
A dog shit answer. You're right.
It's all good. Just want to say thank you, Aaron, for coming on my show. And, you know, I wish you and April the best of luck of your show, the Steel Toe Morning Show. And I just want to also say to everybody...
April, just hold on real quick. I got a text. April's actually dead, so... Yeah, she's had.
That's so rude.
Yeah, no, she's had cancer this whole time, and she just died about 6 minutes ago. Actually, you had me on your show this long. I actually missed her death, so I wasn't with her during her final moments. But that's okay. I mean, this was fun, regardless.
Oh God, that's a dog joke.
No, she's fine.
Anyways,
she's not dead yet.
Anyways, thank you for joining my podcast, and I just want to say to everybody:
wait, we were live this whole time? I thought we were just fucking around. No,
I just want to say to everybody, have a nice Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody.
What about, now hold on a minute. I'm sorry to step all over your outro. You didn't wish them a happy Hanukkah.
Yep, and also happy Hanukkah too.
Well, how about now here in America, we have Kwanzaa. It's a made-up black holiday. Wish them a happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Okay. Boxing Day is coming up in Canada. That's, I believe, on the 26th. Wish the Canadians a happy Boxing Day. This is an international platform that we're on.
Oh, man, that's crack up. Happy Boxing Day.
All right. And then say, I love the Jews.
I love the Jews.
There you go. You have to say that one. You'll be in YouTube's good graces forever if you say that.
Yeah.
But you said it with a smirk, so I doubt your sincerity.
I mean, seriously, I do love Jews. I think Jews are great people. They're
That's
really
not.
cool
I
people.
I saw a Facebook post of yours from 2013 that begs to differ. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking around. I don't know anything about your Facebook posts or anything like that. I saw the book you wrote that was titled 6 Million, 6 Schmillion, and I thought that was a really offensive book title. But you know, I'm glad you exercised your free speech.
God. You know, I didn't even write that book. I see you being very cheeky with the
Oh
jokes.
shit! I'm sorry. That was me. I apologize. That was a joke book. Actually, it was actually a cookbook. I was just wanted a catchy title.
Anyways, thank you for joining, everybody. Have a nice day. Merry Christmas to you all. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all the other holidays out there. Take care.
All right.
Thank you, Aaron, for joining my show.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Stay gay, everybody. Stay black, and we'll see you later.
Did you enjoy that? How was that?
Yeah, that was fun. We're still streaming on my channel here. I'll kill it in just a second. But no, that was a lot of fun, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. That's all good, mate. That's good to hear.
And yeah, we'll make sure we share this and all of that stuff. And hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, next year will be great, mate. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good.
Take it easy, man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, there you go, guys. You just watched me do an interview with that guy. I had fun. That was nice. He's got a little channel, and I want it to get bigger, and I want him to get a lot of new subs from that. So if you guys could go click on that guy and sub to him, but I don't know. I like to have a little fun with. I'm gonna be a terrible guy. Like if we get to 25,000, 35,000, 50,000, like if this channel really blows up in the next couple of years, I'm gonna be a really terrible guest on like small podcasts because I always enjoyed like when Robin Williams would go on like Letterman's show and just kind of destroy the whole thing. I was always kind of into that gimmick, so I kind of like going. I like going on podcasts of guys who are trying really hard and they're incredibly nervous, but they're really nice guys. I like kind of going on and loosen them up a little bit because, like, I don't know. I don't want these guys to be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. You just have a little fun doing this. So I'm glad you guys liked that. And no, I don't know, JJ. I don't mean destroy his show. I mean, just go on there and be just silly and weird and shit like that. But no, that was Welsh Republic Podcast. He's a really cool guy. Go subscribe to his channel. Tomorrow morning, remember, I know a lot of you are off work. I saw that, numbers were very much down Wednesday, Thursday, and they'll probably be down more Friday. But David Chandler said I have to have a birthday show tomorrow. So we're going to have a birthday show tomorrow. I hope you guys can stop by. That would be really, really cool. We'll talk to you then. Have a great rest of your night.